In this project, we will be using some masks from around the world as inspiration to create a mask design of our own. Now remember, we don't want to ever copy another person's artwork. We will simply be using these images as inspiration to create our own design. So here we have images from the Maori culture, which is in New Zealand. We have South American inspired mask designs, African inspired mask designs, and Japanese inspired mask designs. Mask designs have been used for different things in lots of different cultures around the world. Things like religious ceremonies and wartime for intimidation, such as this Japanese mask here, which would have been worn as part of an armor set. And so we want to use these today to inspire us. We are going to pick some things that we maybe like from one mask, maybe use some to give us inspiration for our own ideas. And so when we're drawing our mask today, we will want to start out with the center design, so the eyes, the nose, the mouth, something there, one of those facial features you'll want to start with. And then once you have included the eyes, nose, and mouth, we can start to add some details inside the mask. It doesn't need to be too complicated, but we do want a lot of detail that is going to fill the page of your drawing. We are going to start these drawings in pencil. Here's another idea. Notice that we can include some simple designs in the background. If your mask does not end up filling the page fully, then you might want to put a little bit more detail in that background area. It could be a motif of leaves or flowers or anything that you think is going to go along with the theme of your mask. Notice also in these masks that the facial features or the expression is exaggerated. We are going to want to include this in our drawing today. So think about what kind of expression or mood you might want to try to express on the face of your mask when you are designing it, and see how exaggerated you can make that. Now, we are going to try and make our mask symmetrical, which means if I were to draw a line down the middle of these masks, they are basically the same on each side. So once you are done making your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, make sure that when you are creating your designs on the mask, that it is the same on the right side as it is on the left side. Now I understand if it's not exact, but that's okay. We want to try and get it as close as we can. Notice also that in my examples I have used a different shape for the outside of my mask. It is not a natural shape like a realistic head. I would encourage you to do that as well. That will help make your picture look more mask-like instead of more just more like a portrait. We are going to exaggerate this. Now we are going to be using an analogous color scheme. We used an analogous color scheme in a project before, so we should be familiar. We're going to pick 3 to 4 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. For my example, I picked all the colors in between red and blue. These are all neighbors on the color wheel. They touch together, so they are analogous. In my example, my finished example, you can see that I've used pure red, pure blue, I've used purple, and everything in between, mixing those colors together with some watercolor paint. If you do not have watercolor paint, you may simply color in using your best craftsmanship, using any of the materials that you have. So if you were to use crayon, all of these colors that I've selected are in the analogous color scheme that I chose. Pink can be considered light red, so from red to blue and anything in between in your crayon box would be part of your analogous colors, and that's going to give you some different values because this blue is going to be different than this blue, and they're going to give you different values of blue. So we want to see those different lighter and darker areas of your picture. So if you choose to use marker, we want to also include something else like crayon or colored pencil because it's difficult for us to get value using our markers only. So remember, we are going to be shading just like we did in that woven project, trying to create some different values. Whether you are painting or using colored pencil, we need to include some different values. I will include a separate video that shows a tutorial on paint skills if you have paint at home and would like to paint it. Otherwise, there are other videos that we have used for blending if you'd like to go back and look at those for your colored pencils and your crayons. Maybe I'll add those in there as well. So to repeat our directions, we are going to draw a pencil drawing of a mask design inspired from cultural examples that is symmetrical using pencil first. If you're going to paint, you will want to paint it and then outline it afterwards so that your marker does not bleed. If you have a permanent marker, it does not matter when you outline. And if you do not have paint, you are going to use analogous colors of either crayon, colored pencil, or marker to create different values, light and dark areas of our picture here. Notice that I have lighter areas on this part and darker areas, so I have different values of blue, purple, and red in my example, which is my analogous color scheme. You may choose any analogous color scheme that you wish.